Good morning. How are we? I was just double checking that we were actually live there because had a few issues with the joys of Facebook lately. Anyway, how are you? How has your week been? Thursday, the 2nd of November here today. Can't quite believe we're actually in November already. It's been such a busy week. It's been one of those weeks where I've had to really question myself as to what day of the week it is. I don't know about you. Little bit like a post-eclipse hangover, perhaps. Speaking to some people who have experienced that this week has so far been quite manic for them, and with the recent full moon, the eclipse, all that sort of stuff, it's been really quite intense. So a lot of them are looking forward to the cosmic energy lessening as we go. You can let me know how you've been feeling, what's been going on with you. Let me know as well if you are joining me, if you're here live, give me a wee hello so that I know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, again, leave me a wee hashtag replay so that I know you've caught up and that you've seen it. Um, so here we are. Did you have a great Halloween? Did you do anything? Did you have any um, did you have any trick or treaters around? Did you get dressed up? Share your photos. I'd love to see that. We didn't have too much of a sort of a dress up this year. We just literally been such a busy week. We had decided, and it was only Tuesday. We'd had such a busy week that we decided we were just going to have some movie nights with the kids and far too many snacks. So we ate too much popcorn and watched a couple of movies, and it was just nice just to unwind. But I have to say, now we're in November, I'm getting really excited for 2024. So let me know if you're excited too, or if you're winding down. What's going on? For me, I've been making plans, getting new courses ready, getting waiting lists out into the world, lots and lots of activity, lots of, I don't know, I'm feeling like a little bubble of excitement in there about the potential. I feel like this time of year is like a little seed, and it's like, what am I gonna what am I gonna create out of it? What are we gonna nurture out of it? Um, so I've been really kind of really focused on what's coming up, but at the same time I've also been really mindful, and I'm starting to really listen into my body and my soul, and I've switched out my morning routine a little bit over the last week or two. Um, I spoke previously, just going to drink my coffee here. I spoke previously to you about the fact that I was doing the morning pages and working through the artist's way. And I have to say, those 3 pages of just longhand stuff that comes out of your head that you're just writing, it's very therapeutic, very cathartic. And it's been creating space for me. And I decided alongside that, then, I was just going to take some more time to ease into my day. The temptation for me, because I work from home and I work in my own business, the temptation for me is to come into my space, because my office and my treatment room and my sacred space are all one and the same, because this is where I feel, this is where I do my morning meditations, my morning routines. It's where I can close the door, have my candles, have my incense, have everything that I need around me. But it's also my office, and the temptation sometimes is to come in, and particularly if you're feeling kind of on it first thing, and you've had your breakfast and you're ready to go, and you're like, right, the temptation is to go straight to the laptop and to start work. And I have found that actually, no, I'm going to take the time to do the morning pages, and alongside those morning pages, I have so many books that sit on the shelves behind me here, so many. And those books, as they sit on the shelf behind me, are just gathering dust. They're not actually being read. Okay. A lot of them have been read, but there's a lot of them that I have bought and I thought I must read that. So one of them was Atomic Habits. You can let me know if you've ever read it, by James Clear. It's really good. So alongside the morning pages and spending time reflecting and writing those pages, I'm also then, I've challenged myself that after I do that, and after I sit and I'm working with my cards, and I'm maybe tuning into messages from guidance, my spirit guides and things like that. And I'm checking in with myself, checking in with body and soul. Then I've challenged myself to read a chapter of that book. And it doesn't take very long. But as I'm reading that chapter of that book, I'm starting to realize, actually, do you know what? This has got so much useful information in it. These little tiny incremental changes. And the question of, are these habits that we're in contributing to the person I want to be? And you might have noticed me asking that question in the Mind, Body, Spirit Wellness group this week. Are you becoming the person you want to be? Do you have what are your habits conducive to that? And it's these wee things that start to make you think. So by taking the space and the time to do that in the morning, it's given me this real, I feel so much more creative and so much more inspired. Alongside that, then I've added Qigong back in and I've got back into really reflecting. Um, and then the next thing I do is I think to myself, right, well, what will move the needle? What do I need to do in my own business here that's going to actually elevate things now that I'm starting work as such? What is the first thing I want to start with today? And invariably, because I've created that space, because I've created that time to just slow down, check in, listen to my body, listen to the thoughts that are going on in my head, get rid of them all. Invariably, what happens is that it allows me to then feel inspired to create content. So I create content for my social media. I plan ahead. It saves me time later because I can plan it and schedule it and have it posted later on. It gives me time to network and to build my audience and to engage with other people on social media so that it's not just me splurging stuff out, but actually engaging and creating relationships and building relationships with other people. And it's that shift has made a massive difference. And I think for me, this time of year is really sort of highlighting that I've always said this, you're responsible for the direction your life takes. It's up to you what you do. Um, and for me, I was nearly fallen into that routine of just, running on autopilot again, coming in, sitting at the laptop, doing the thing, and finding yourself nearly not having a direction, not having a real vision for what it is you want. So I've been really working on that. And I think now that I'm planning ahead for 2024, I'm working with the Soul Food Circle folks, and some of them are stepping really into their power and their passion and their purpose. And it's amazing to watch. But this has helped me then create new soulful business mentoring programs that I'm going to be putting out in 2024. It's helping me put together a much needed soulful business community called Soulpreneur Space. And I've literally just created that waiting list for it. I'll drop the links for later in case you're interested. And as you know, unless you've been living under a rock, I've been promoting Soulfire, which is my 3-day event. So all these things were like kind of are coming together, and none of it would have happened had I not taken the space and the time to just allow myself to let that creativity and inspiration come up. And I'm telling you this because I think that sometimes we write this time of year off. We nearly go, oh, it's November now, throw it away, it's Christmas. And we focus so much on getting ready for Christmas and the festivities that we kind of nearly throw November away. It's kind of like this forgotten month. It's just this, or it's a month that's full of stress and pressure. And today's National Stress Awareness Day. So I want you to be aware of where you're where's the stress, right? So I want you to be thinking about that. And I'm telling you all this because I don't want you to throw away November and run into Christmas and into December in a stressed, frazzled mess. I want you to take the time for yourself, whether that's you go for a walk and you just get some headspace. What about you change one tiny little habit? Instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning and doom scrolling to start your day, what about you start your day with, you know, some nice gentle stretching, bit of qigong, and asking yourself who you want to be today? It's a simple little shift like that that can make the world of difference. Because if we aren't creating our lives and stepping into the driving seat of our lives, then we're just existing, right? We are simply existing, running on autopilot, and that's never a good thing. And the cards this week are a real reflection of that. The cards this week are really sort of talking to us about the fact that we can have whatever we want because we have got the 9 of Cups, we have got the 10 of Cups, and we have got the Emperor showing up again. Now, the Emperor showed up a little while ago, remember? And we had him coming in reminding us that we had to actually take action. It was no good just having all the lists and doing all the planning, but we had to actually get off our asses and do something. So it's really, really interesting just what you can make of this. Okay, you can drive your life. So let's dive into these cards and see what they have to say. So we've got the 9 of Cups. Again, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot deck. So we've got the 9 of Cups coming up here. And the 9 of Cups is reminding us that we can have everything that we want. Okay. We have the ability to step into our passion, our purpose, and to go after that joy. And what I love about this card, this is the Light Seers Tarot deck. So let me just get that so that you can have a look and see in case you like these cards and you want to get them for yourself. Maybe it could be a Christmas present to yourself. So they're from Chris Ann, the Light Seers Tarot, and they're one of my favourite decks. But what I love about it is that in the traditional tarot cards, the Rider Waite, you see normally a man sitting with all the cups behind him, and hidden behind him underneath a blue, um, it's like a blue tablecloth almost, hiding what's underneath, and he's sitting on a wooden bench, and he looks quite smug and happy, but you sort of think to yourself, how long can you sit on that wooden bench before your bum gets sore? Whereas this card's so much nicer. It's got like such a much brighter feel to it. I don't know if you can see the glow on it. Like when I move the card, you can see that it's glowing. So you can see this woman, and beneath her feet, she's almost opened this treasure chest and skipped out of it. And there's gold and jewelry, and it's like a real treasure chest. And she's flying up from it. She's got blue hair. Maybe it's Shannon. She's coming up from it, and from her heart space is this gorgeous light, and there's all these cups above her, and it's like, what I'm really hearing with this is she has followed her heart. She has followed her calling from her soul, her passion, her purpose to be fulfilled, and as a result of that, she has the success that she wants. Because what does success look like for you? It's not all about money, but money helps, right? Money facilitates the life that you want to lead. Like it or lump it, in our society today, we need money in order to live and thrive and survive. It is just what it is. However, it's not that it's the be all and end all of her life. She has followed, if you look at this, it's centered around her heart. So what I would ask you to do is to maybe pop your hands onto your heart space and just take a moment. What do you really want to do with your life? What makes you light up? What would you love to jump out of bed and do every day? Okay, what is the passion and the purpose of your life? And before you go, oh, I don't know. Yeah, you do. You do know. Perhaps it's just buried under years of conditioning. Perhaps it's just hidden under lots of fear because you're too scared to go for what you want. But look what happens when you do. The success is yours. She is leaping out of this full treasure chest, and her everything, all her fulfillment is around her. This is also a card to remind you to look at the blessings. It's really easy to look at all the things that are wrong. So I'll give you an example of this. Yesterday, here in Northern Ireland, there was a lot of rain the night before, and a lot of places were flooded, and a lot of businesses were flooded, a lot of homes were flooded. I know it's been happening across the UK. From our point of view, our back garden flooded up, and we're getting work done in the back garden. So we're getting a few things built out the back to make use. The old structures we had there had got very rotted. They've been taken away, and we've been building new things. One of the things is going to be an art studio for me. Okay. And we were getting a little bit frustrated at the lack of progress. We were getting a little bit held back by it, and we were like, why is nothing happening? And then the garden flooded. Now, we were aware that there was flooding in our back garden and that sometimes the water did come up. So the builders they'd raised up the foundations of where they were going to build the structures. And thankfully, they hadn't built them any further because the water came up higher than that. And it has explained to us that we now need to raise it a little bit more just in case there's a um, higher flood ever comes in. So there was the blessing there. We could have easily gone, oh, look, it's all flooded, and oh, look, it's really tragic. We're not going to get more work done now because it's going to be another delay, and oh, woe is me. But instead, we turned it around and went, actually, do you know what? That's a blessing because we could have spent a lot of money getting that built just for it to be ruined next winter or before with more rain. So this card reminds you to change your viewpoint, to change what's going on. So let me know if you're watching live or you're catching the replay, let me know, what is your definition of success, and do you step into that attitude of gratitude on a daily basis in order to find it? And going back to what I said at the top of this video, the fact that, I'm creating that space for myself in the morning, doing those morning pages, allowing myself to find that time and that space, and then doing something that's going to move the needle for me. It's going to shift me in my own personal development, in my own business development, in my own keeping my goals going, so that I'm constantly in alignment with my heart and soul, chasing what I need and still having the success. But having fun while I'm doing it, right? Because sometimes we get so busy going after our hopes and dreams that we actually forget to live in the moment. And that's slowing down every day and just checking in with what's going on in the head. What's going on in here? Is there what nonsense? What fears? What's coming up? What worries? How can I look at those? Taking that time, and it doesn't need to take long. Like, honestly, I have my morning pages done and the chapter in my book read in about 30 minutes. And then I use another 30 minutes to do Qigong and a bit of tarot work and a bit of content creation and networking. So it only takes me an hour in the mornings, and I can still, if I do that at 8:30, I'm still ready to start working at 9:30. It doesn't have to take long. You don't have to do it that way either. You can do it in little snippets through the day. But it's allowing me to still be mindful and check in with my heart so that I'm not just constantly striving for things. Because the thing about this is sometimes whenever we're constantly trying to go for what we want, we forget to be here now, and we forget to be present now, and we forget to be completely in alignment with our soul now. So it's really important to check in. And what I have found so beneficial about having mentors is that the mentors are not attached emotionally to me or to my business or to my life. And they just remind me, what did you do today to keep in alignment with your soul? What did you do today to keep in alignment with your business? What did you do today? And it helps. Okay, so that's my thoughts for the Nine of Cups. And then we've got the Ten of Cups. So the Nine of Cups, this is the Ten of Cups, the happy ever after card, right? But that Nine of Cups, all those things I've said about the Nine of Cups is what leads you to this space of fulfillment. Because the Ten of Cups, the happy ever after card, the everything you could have ever wanted card. Okay. Now, what I find really interesting is that some people really struggle to define what it is they really want. And I was one of those people, and I still am. I still have to work on that because it almost feels sometimes that you're scared to say what you want. It's almost like you're really scared to say what you want in case it's perceived as selfish. And then that kind of holds you back. That kind of reins you in a little bit, and you start to go, oh, it's like when I ask people, when I'm doing business mentoring and I ask people, what do you want to get out of your business? I want to help people. And I'm like, yes, that's lovely. Of course you do. That's why we're all doing it. What do you want to get out of it personally, other than the helping people and being altruistic? Because ultimately, you've started the business so you can live, right? Which means you need to earn the money, which means you need to actually be successful at it. Okay. Which means you actually need to be confident, which means you actually need to set down the fear and put yourself out there to do it and not worry what other people think. And then that freedom allows you to then go, well, yeah, I actually want a business and a lifestyle. I want work. It doesn't have to be a business. It might be your job. It might be your career. I want a job or a lifestyle where I can still, you know, go and enjoy time with my kids. I can go and enjoy time with my family or my grandchildren. I can go and, I can go out when I want to. I can book a holiday when I want to. I can go to Tesco's and hit my card without fear of it being rejected. These are the things that a lot of people want, but they're too scared to say that's what they want. And then bigger than that, like, what else do you want? Do you want to be able to go on holiday twice, three, four times a year? Do you want to be able to, and it's okay. People sometimes go, no, no, I don't want to do that. And it's like, do you not? I do. I'd love to be able to go on holiday several times a year. Who wouldn't? Just to be able to go and relax and still know you were having a life and that everything was good. So many people say to me, I just love a wee cottage in the woods away from people and just with my rescue animals. Yeah, we'll make it happen. You have a thriving business that supports your life, or you have a way of bringing money in that supports your life, then you can do that. You can do whatever you want. So you define what your happy ever after looks like. But if you don't know what your happy ever after looks like, then you're kind of stumbling in the dark. You're kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something's going to stick. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So what I'm saying to you here is following on from this Nine of Cups, where you're following your joy, following your passion, following your purpose, the abundance, the success, the wealth, whether it's financial wealth, health wealth, social wealth, whatever it may be, follows as a result of that. And you define then what your happy ever after looks like. It's up to you to decide what that looks like. And again, this is coming back to how I'm really feeling at this time of year, where this is where I'm putting that strategy in for next year. It's like, who do I want to be next year? What type of business leader do I want to be next year? What type of person do I want to be next year? How do I want to spend my time? How do I want to show up for my creativity, for my art? How do I want to show up for my clients and the people I serve? How do I want to show up for my family and my kids and my friends? How do I want to show up for me? Because all those things feed into your business success and into your life success and into what your happy ever after looks like. So don't put your happiness in the hands of someone else. Don't be saying to yourself, well, my happy ever after looks like having the perfect partner, but he or she's not there yet and I can't be happy until that. Get happy now. Make yourself happy. You're not dependent on someone else to make you happy, because if you are, then that's a problem, because you're putting your life and your happiness in someone else's hands and it can be ripped away from you. Okay. Whereas when you step into the driving seat of your life and you decide what it is that is success for you, what is freedom for you, what is happiness for you, what is contentment for you, then you're in a really powerful position, because you've stepped into the driving seat of your life and you can do whatever you want to do. So hopefully that makes sense. So we don't just get there with all the wishful thinking and all the, we can make all the plans. We can write all the lists. We can do all the things. I said this last week, right? And I laughed. I think it was Karen was like, what? I can't just make the list. It's like, no, you can't just make the list. You got to take the action, right? So here he comes, Mr. Emperor, Mr. Self-assured. I'm really successful and I'm so chilled and I'm cool and I can just sit here holding my chess piece and I am really, the world is at my feet, right? He's so chilled. He's so self-assured. He knows he's got it all going on. Ram's head behind him, just reminding us that he's got Aries energy and that fire, right? He didn't get there with wishy-washy thinking, no direction and no strategy, right? Okay? Because think about this, right? I'll give you another example from my life. One of my business mentors, the gorgeous Hannah Walker, and she says, tend your shop window. And I was like, well, and she goes, you got to tend your shop window. She says, things that will help, your content has to be there, your shop window as such online, your shop window, put your content out. And I was like, right, okay, I do that. And she's like, have you got people walking past the shop window? And I was like, And one of my goals was to increase people who were coming into my world and increase the audience, because as a business owner you're always wanting to bring new people in who serve more people as best you can. And it was like, well, how's that happening? And I was like, just kind of hoping, just like throwing spaghetti at the wall. I was like, yeah, maybe. So as one of my new habits, what I've started to do is I've started to network, I've started to engage, I've started to, reach out to people and say, listen, come on, let's follow each other. Let's see how we do this. I follow you, you follow me, and we make friends and we do these things. And before you know it, you've increased your following. A little tiny piece of action, something really simple. Another one might be the action I'm taking about the books, right? As I said, Atomic Habits has been lying on my shelf for years. Never got read. So a little action every day, one chapter a day is going to read that book, tapping into this energy. So in order to get what we want here with the cups and the fulfillment and the success, we've got to actually take the steps, right? Because we can procrastinate to our heart's content. Let me know in the comments if you're a procrastinator, okay? Let me know if you end up finding there's not enough hours in the day, but if you were to really honestly look at your day, you would find that you waste an awful lot of time doing things that don't move the needle for you. It's one of my other business strategy mentors, Alex, who's she's coming into Soul Food Circle this month to talk to the members about how to get more done in less time. And I can't wait for this. It's such a good session. Productivity hacks and things, and it's such a good session. And they're going to love it. But she also says quite a lot, what's going to move the needle? What's going to get you to where you want to be? Same as when you get into your car, you just sit in your car and don't actually turn the engine on and don't actually, put it into gear and actually start to drive. You're not going to get anywhere. So you can have a fancy car and you can have it sitting in the driveway and you can look at it and polish it and think it's gorgeous and be like, oh, look at my lovely car. But if you don't actually get in it and drive it, you're not going anywhere. And if you don't know where you're going, you're just going to go round and round in circles and get lost. So why do we do that in life? So the emperor's like, will you take charge of your direction and actually take a step towards it, please? Yeah. And he's the emperor. You can be damn sure he's not doing it all by himself. You can be damn sure he's got good advisors around him. He's got good people around him. He's got good mentors in his team. He's got good people helping him out, guiding, assisting. He's got the chess piece in his hand. It's like a master strategist here. He's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. He's going, right, okay, this is my overall vision, right? This is my overall vision for 12 months. Let me scale it back now and go, well, okay, that's my overall goal for the year. Let's pull it back to 6 months. Where are we at? Pull it back to 3 months, right? And then pull it back into, well, in 3 months, what do I need to do? Let's reverse engineer. And that's the sort of stuff I'm going to be doing in Soulpreneur space. That's the sort of like the mentoring and the strategy and the planning and helping you actually apply. And it doesn't matter if you're working with other mentors and you're working with other people, because I work with several mentors, and what I love is that you can take little bits of nuggets of wisdom from each of them and then apply it. And there's always one or two people that you can gel with really well and that you work with. And when you start to talk to them and you bounce those ideas off them and you start to bounce those ideas around and get the direction, and then you start to make a strategy out of it with support from other people and feedback from other people, that is where the magic happens. And that's why I've created Soulpreneur Space, which is being launched very soon. There's a waiting list in the comments for you if you want to join it. And that's also why I've got Soulfire coming up, the 3-day event, because that's going to be about helping you actually take the steps, because we're going to start getting really clear in the vision. We're going to start really looking at what we want. We're going to decide what happiness and success and fulfillment look like for us. And then we're going to like work at that, make sure that we're balancing our life into that and our freedoms in there. And then we're going to actually create the strategy. So it's almost like these 3 cards have come through to remind you to get your ass signed up for Soulfire. Step into the waiting list for Soulpreneur Space, like, please. And let's see if we can make 2024 your best year yet. And the thing about it is, what I love about the Emperor is nearly that stubborn determination to make it happen, because you have to really want it. If you don't really want it and it's a wishy-washy thing, if it's not your dream, so if it's not this coming from this soul space here, the 9 of Cups, and if it's not what your happy after ever after looks like, and you're just taking action for the sake of taking action because you think you're following a cookie cutter approach somewhere else and you think that's going to be the way it is, then you're not going to actually be driven to take the action. So I would ask you to think about it and think this week and think over the weekend. What motivates you? And if you're brave enough, share it in the comments. What motivates you? And what does success look like for you? And if you weren't afraid to fail, what would you do? Or should I maybe ask if you weren't afraid of being hugely and wildly successful? Because if you're hugely and wildly successful, then you've got to actually show up and deliver it. And is that what frightens you? So the emperor is challenging you. Take the action. So that's all I've got for you this week. Let me know if that resonated with you. If you're catching it on replay, let me know once you've watched it. Answer those wee questions for me if you're brave enough in the chat. You don't have to if you don't want to. And as I say, I've dropped in the links for Soulfire and for Soulpreneur Space. So if either of those things light a little fire in you and you think that might be how you can make 2024 your best year yet, then get yourself in there. Soulfire is completely free. It's a free 3-day event, and we're going to look at your vision clarity. We're going to look at getting balance and freedom into your life, and then we're going to look at actually creating a strategy for you. And I will, of course, be giving you an opportunity to join a business mentoring program with me if you want, called Catalyst, which is going to run in 2024. And alongside that, I also have then Soulpreneur Space. So all this information will be coming out to you over the next little while. But if you want to jumpstart on it, get yourself into on the waiting list, and I can't wait to see you there. Let me know what these cards said to you. Let me know if they resonated. Arlene has said she's feeling guilty here. Yeah, well, sometimes these cards call you out, sometimes they call me out too, but they're called out with love because sometimes we need that. I need it when my mentors call me out when they're like, hold on a minute. You said you wanted to do X, Y, and Z. Why are you doing this? That's taking you away from where you want to be. Or you said you wanted to be this type of a business leader. Why are you doing something else? And you need that accountability. You need that being called to account, whether it's in your life, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your work, no matter where it is. We all need those structures and those people around us. For me personally, I've grown so much by investing in myself. So I would urge you to consider doing the same. Think about what these cards are saying to you. Think about what it means for you in your life. And maybe take some time over the weekend then just to really reflect on those questions. You know, what does success look like for you and freedom? And who do you want to be? And how do you want 2024 to unfold for you? Where do you want to be this time next year when we're having this same conversation and we're planning for 2025? So I'll leave that with you. Have a great day, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you again soon.